Across the entire series of Sabrock's Opinions videos, there's been a few themes. If you've seen enough of them, if you've been with me from the beginning, or have viewed the backlog, you'll kind of pick up on a few of these threads. Some examples. 5th edition does almost everything wrong. 4th edition, pretty good, still has some problems owing to the nature of the game. Other systems, very good. Try them. Maybe they're not all for you. Not every game is for everyone. Try them. One of the themes, and the one I'm going to be expounding on today, is don't support Hasbro. Hasbro's an evil corporation and does not deserve your money. They don't like you as a customer. They only see you as a source of revenue. They don't respect their customer base. They don't respect their community. They don't have the interests of the community or their games in mind. They're all about monetization. And the ethics of that are, something to be discussed elsewhere. And I think I have, actually. I think I have a whole video titled "Don't Support Hasbro." But I wanted to dive into what I think is a bit of a fallacy with regards to how to go about that. Because I think a lot of the community, especially now after the D&D Beyond debacle that just went down, where they were going to automatically force everyone to use the 2024 content on their character sheets unless you go in and explicitly import the 2014 content as homebrew. You still have access to the 2014 content via their books section, but the character sheet, which is kind of the reason why you subscribe to D&D Beyond, as far as I'm aware, is that would force you to use the newer content, which is, of course, a way to sort of unceremoniously push people towards using the new content, which means you're more likely to buy the books, greater community adoption of the new content, which is good for the forward sales of the brand. This is a really scummy move, obviously. It kind of screws over the customers in order to try, kind of push towards getting a profit, which, that's Hasbro. What are you going to do? I don't know why you would expect anything else. So we don't want to support Hasbro. For lots of reasons. This is just the most recent one. So we don't want to support Hasbro. So what happens then, and I think the community is starting to get on board with this. Every time Hasbro does this, more and more people are like, maybe we shouldn't be giving them lots of money. Maybe other ways of doing things that give Hasbro less money would be preferable. Because we don't like getting screwed by them every 6 months or so. Seems to be about a couple of times a year now. They try to do something particularly egregious. And that's besides just putting out low effort, low quality content. And so what people are starting to do now is they say, well, I'll cancel my D&D Beyond subscription. I'm still going to play 5th edition. I'll just use my books. My books still work perfectly well. I'm not giving Wizards of the Coast or Hasbro any more money. I'll just keep playing 5th edition the way I always have. And that way I'm not supporting Hasbro. Okay. Sounds good on paper. Well, doesn't sound good to me because I don't like 5th edition. But in concept, this seems like it achieves the goal. There is a problem, though. And there's a problem. And I hate to be that guy, but that actually still supports Hasbro. Indirectly, and admittedly to a much lesser extent than actively buying products or paying for subscriptions. But here's the thing. What is the number one, in fact, I think the only legitimate selling point of 5th edition? It's that it's everywhere. Everyone plays 5th edition. If you're getting into tabletop RPGs, there's an extremely good chance 5th edition is your first game because that's what everyone's playing. It's so easy to find a group. And in fact, if you ask someone, say, hey, I want to get into tabletop RPGs, can you run a game for me? there's a very, very high chance that that person is going to run 5th edition for you, because that's the game that is currently out, currently being supported, currently being printed. If you go to a game store and say, hey, I've heard about Dungeons and Dragons as the RPG. You might not even be aware that there are other RPGs. You say, I want to play Dungeons and Dragons, and they're going to be like, here's some 5th edition books for you, a 5th edition starter set, what have you. Most people get started in 5th edition because it is the most popular, which is why it remains the most popular. Honestly, if 5th edition was not the #1 most popular RPG by a wide measure, there'd be no reason to play it. It's not good at anything in particular. It's just extremely easy to find a group for. And it's extremely easy to find a group for because it's extremely easy to find a group for. It is a vicious cycle. It cycles right back into itself. That's why it maintains its superiority after all this time. They literally can put out whatever they want, like absolute dog shit rules. Like the updated edition can be and is an extremely low effort set of rules that don't really work. In some aspects, you can see where the game has been marginally improved. In other aspects, it is less functional than it was before. So that's how bad of a product this is. But it remains the most popular RPG because the system itself doesn't matter. It's all about the size of the community, the ease of access. So when people are still playing 5th edition, even after all of these scandals, these issues, these incidents where Wizards of the Coast / Hasbro says, I'm gonna squeeze my customer base for more money in a way that kind of screws them over. Well, what that does, the effect of that is that 5th edition remains the most popular RPG. It remains the game that everyone plays. And therefore, when new people are getting into the hobby, that's what they're going to see. So playing 5th edition, continuing to play 5th edition, even if you are not yourself giving Hasbro any money, if you are in any way interfacing with the community, you're on Reddit, you're on Discord, you're on any sort of social media, you're out at a local like game shop playing in public, any kind of interaction with the community is supporting 5th edition. And therefore, more people will give Hasbro money because it is the most popular game. The only way to actually stop supporting Hasbro is to stop playing 5th edition. Go play other games. You have, presumably, a hobby budget. You know, money that you were putting into D&D Beyond. Money that you were putting into buying new D&D books. Put that money into other games and start playing those games. Then people will see, oh, it's not all D&D. People are playing Lancer. People are playing Fabula Ultima. People are playing old games that aren't even in print anymore because they're still good, you know? Play Legend of the Five Rings so that you can see what a really good social roleplay mechanics experience is. I would love if not Lord of the Rings. Did I say Lord of the Rings? I think I said Lord of the Rings. Oh, no. No, play Legend of the Five Rings. It's a different one. That's a different thing. Play Legend of the Five Rings. More people playing that game would just do my heart so much good if it gets more publicity, because it's truly a fantastic game in ways that D&D cannot be. Like, regardless of the edition, D&D will never be as good as Legend of the Five Rings at the things that it is good at. 4th edition, I think, has better combat, but combat is not really a focus of L5R's whole dynamic. So that kind of stuff. Play Blades in the Dark. Blades in the Dark is so cheap. It's like $40 for the book. And people who have only played D&D before are going to be surprised. Most games only have one book. Lots of games only have one book, plus maybe expansions. But like one core book. $40, pick up Blades in the Dark. It's such a fantastic little game with a truly evocative world and mechanics that support that setting and the types of gameplay that it is meant to evoke. Oh, it's so good. Play these other games in public. Make it known to your friends. Go on the communities and engage with those communities, and stop engaging with 5th edition. Every time someone's like, I'm running a 5th edition campaign, well, it's more publicity for 5th edition as the game that people run. Now, I'm not your boss. I'm not going to tell you what, I can't tell you what to do. You're going to do your own thing. Everyone's got to do their own thing. I think it would be better for the tabletop role-playing community as a whole, the entire market, the entire demographic, if everyone stopped playing 5th edition. It's an unrealistic idea. It's never going to happen. But I think if more people stopped, that also would give improvement. Marginal, smaller improvement, but improvement nonetheless. And we kind of have to strive for every little bit we can get, right? It's like I don't think people should use Amazon.com. I think it's I can't find a way to morally justify shopping on Amazon because of the things that they do as a company. I can't make you stop shopping on Amazon, but I will encourage people to stop shopping on Amazon, because if anyone stops shopping on Amazon, if they otherwise would have, that helps the world a little bit. And that's all I can ask for. We try to help the world a little bit by not supporting the companies that make the world a worse place, such as Hasbro. Don't support Hasbro, please. Support other games. Support other game companies that love their customers and respect their customers in ways that frankly Wizards of the Coast never has. They haven't always been as bad as they are now, since they got picked up by Hasbro, I think. I think that's mostly the turning point. They haven't always been this bad, but they've never been great. They've always been company first, profits first, but also there was clearly used to be people at Wizards of the Coast that cared about the community and actually wanted the game to be good, or else we wouldn't have gotten 4th edition. We wouldn't have gotten 3rd edition either. Like, 3rd edition obviously was a love letter to the genre. 4th edition was them learning from their mistakes and really knuckling down to improve the systems that they had realized were flawed previously. Hasbro comes along, and now I don't know that there is anyone at the company with authority to make any decisions. Like, maybe surely there are some passionate people still there. They can't move the company in ways that matter in this regard. But you have companies like Massive Press that does Lancer. All of Lancer's player-facing rules and lore are available for free. It's free. They're giving it away. They have a character builder that's free with all the player-facing content. The only thing you ever have to pay for is the GM side. And so, like, only one person at the table needs to do that. You can all pitch in, get them the book, and then they can run the game. I went and bought 2 books from them, 2 core books, just so that I would have a book, and then I could have another one, like, floating around the table. That's how much I want to support Massive Press. Blades in the Dark. I bought a copy for a friend of mine because I knew he would love the setting. And I was hoping he would like the mechanics. I don't think he really got sold on the mechanics, but I knew he would love the setting. So I went and bought him an extra book because I don't mind supporting Evil Hat Productions, who makes the game. That's how good it is. I'll buy every L5R RPG book that comes out, regardless of whether or not I think I need it or want it. Mainly because I want to support that company that's making a truly great product. Is anyone that passionate about D&D? I hope not.